Rob Ford video game explodes on social media. What's next for Quebec separatists? And the sun sets on Windows XP. Welcome to Globe Now. I'm Affan Chowdhry. The saga of Rob Ford got a little more absurd today. After a weekend appearance at a hockey game that prompted questions about his sobriety, an addictive video game has hit the internet. It's called Crackathon. You navigate a Rob Ford-like character. The more bottles of booze, marijuana leaves, and crack pipes you collect, the more party score points you get. No surprise here, the game has exploded on social media. So who are the brains behind the game? Well, according to reports, it was created by two University of Waterloo students, Nick Mostowich and Chris Nagan. Of course, it's not the first arcade incarnation of the Toronto mayor. Remember Flappy Ford? A rip on the incredibly popular Flappy Bird. Then there was this game about a big city mayor trying to keep his job. And the Super Ford brothers, care of CBC's This Hour Has 22 Minutes. So does Rob Ford ever win in these video games? Well, not in Crackathon, because the clock always runs out. The people of Quebec handed the Parti Québécois a devastating loss in last night's election. So what do separatists do now? The Globe's chief Quebec correspondent, Sophie Cousineau, joins us now to discuss. Welcome, Sophie. So, Pauline Marois is gone. The party lost a dramatic number of seats. What are you thinking this morning if you're a PQ supporter?
Well, I think you're just reeling from a massive hangover because this was not an expected turn of events. When they launched the campaign 33 days ago, the PQ and Mrs. Marois thought that a majority was within reach, but they've mishandled this campaign spectacularly, and they just kept on losing grounds. And this is with the result that this is the worst defeat in the PQ's history since 1970 in terms of votes.
So where does the Parti Québécois go from here?
Well, of course, Mrs. Marois resigned last night. That was to be expected, especially after she lost her Charlevoix riding. So she said that she will stay on until to ensure an orderly transition. Now, the question is will there be an orderly succession campaign? The PQ is known for its quite contentious disputes and its rivalries. And if you look last night at the television when the PQ leaders went on the stage, you could see that the stage was set for a very nasty campaign between the three contenders that were there.
Now, it is early, but any thoughts on who is the leading, contender to be the next leader?
It's really hard to say. I mean, I think that a lot of people will blame Pierre-Carl Péladeau for what happened last night, and he's a newcomer, so it's hard to see how he could have a very strong support within the PQ's base. Bernard Dréville has been there for quite some time, but at the same time, that charter did not win the day for the PQ. Bottom line, even if many Quebecers approve of such, want a secular state and don't mind to have a clothing police for the Quebec state employees, that is not at the forefront of Quebecers' priorities. So in that sense, he will have to, rebrand himself to make sure that he is not seen as the man of the one cause. And
so is that it for the Quebec Charter of Values? Is this something that the Parti Québécois is going to move away from?
Well, at this point, I mean, even the Liberals might adopt a charter because there is wide-based support for it, and they could be blamed if they didn't do it. But the distinction between the charter as seen by the Liberals and as seen by the PQ is how far do you go in legislating what people wear. And I think that if the Liberals do enact a Quebec Charter of Values, then that I'm not sure that the PQ will necessarily want to revisit that issue. Especially now we're looking at least 4 years down the road. This is not a minority government. They don't have to compromise. And once that will be done, it's hard to say that the PQ would want to go back to that 4 years down the road.
Thank you so much, Sophie.
My pleasure.
Well, tweet us at Globe Now about what you think about the Quebec election. What do you think about the result? Are you happy with the result? Tweet us at Globe Now. Well, it's the end of the line for Microsoft XP. After today, the company is no longer providing security updates or technical support for the operating system. And as the Globe's Dingman explains, Microsoft is turning a page on the past and ushering in a new era.
Most of us have a very clear idea what Microsoft is about, and it is not cool. For the longest time, all we cared about was they made that junky, slow software our corporate IT guy made us use on our desktop computer. Did you know people are still using Windows XP? Like 30% of Windows users and like 90% of ATMs? It's 12 years old. Microsoft is finally ending support, which means you really should upgrade if you haven't already. Microsoft also makes smartphones and tablets. Not many people buy them, and somehow it makes the Xbox, which a lot of gamers buy. But a funny thing happened in recent months. Things have started to change around Microsoft. Gone are the normcore CEOs, Bill Gates and Steve Ballmer, with their dad haircuts and boxy blazers. There's this new, lean, mean guy named Satya Nadella, and he went t-shirt and jeans casual at last week's big developer conference keynote. But the substantive changes are even deeper. Here's a list of major changes to its business that are happening, most of which we never expected. You can now get Office Suite for iPad, and it's been downloaded 12 million times already. You can get OneNote for Macs. Windows Phone is about to get a voice assistant called Cortana.
Hi, I'm Cortana.
Developers will be able to make one app and with a few tweaks make it work on all of their platforms, phone, tablet, and desktop. They also have the best next-gen games exclusive to Xbox. So some of this stuff had to be underway in the old regime, but the new guy is moving very quickly to do really un-Microsoft things, namely to put its software in front of users wherever they are. So the days of the beige grandpa boxes running Monopoly software aren't quite gone, but with surprising speed, Microsoft is transforming. It's still not cool, but this isn't your mom and dad's Microsoft anymore.
Well, that's it for Globe Now. Thanks for watching. Tweet us your thoughts and questions on today's program. Thanks again. I'm Affan Chowdhry.